When we meet the disciples in today's gospel, they are very much in a situation like we might be after the death of a loved one. They're in grief. They're trying to figure out how to go on with their life now that their beloved isn't with them. And sure, Jesus had appeared to them twice before this, but they were still doubting. They're unable quite to recognize him. And besides, it was different. They couldn't be with Jesus now in the same way that they had been before. And so Peter says, I'm going fishing. He's going back to what he knows how to do, what he was doing as his profession before Jesus even met him. And the others go with him, and so their disappointment continues, for they're out the whole night and they catch nothing. But Jesus comes as they're returning to shore and calls to them. They see him, and he tells them, try something different. Put the net over the other side of the boat. And they listen to him. And sure enough, they catch this huge quantity of fish, more than they can even handle. And so, Jesus comes to us too. Just when we're feeling ready to give up, like the disciples in the boat, not knowing how to live, not knowing what to do next. And we won't be disappointed either. But notice how Peter and the rest had to look and see and listen to Jesus, who was there on the shore calling to them. Just as well, they could have ignored him. After all, they didn't recognize him at first. But they didn't. They took heed. They noticed him. They listened to what he was saying. He offered a new idea, and they followed. They tried to do what he told them to. And they weren't disappointed. And the same will be true with you and me. Because the risen Lord comes to us too, just when we're ready to give up. He comes to us in the call of a friend. He comes to us in a neighbor that reaches out in kindness. He comes to us in the smile of someone in the grocery store. Jesus comes, but we have to do our part to keep our eyes open, to expect the risen Lord to come in the stranger, in the one that we don't necessarily recognize to be the Lord. And just like Jesus did for the disciples that day, he'll feed us too. He'll prepare a table for us, and we will find nourishment for body and soul. And we can then be that nourishment in the world to one another.